We should be live. Let's mute myself. Okay, back. First of all, I want to say it's been a while. I haven't talked to you guys in a few days. How are you doing? If you are watching this replay, let me know where you're from and how you're doing. You guys really matter to me. You really matter to me watching this. And reading through the comments, it does something to my soul. It fuels my soul reading through the comments. I just appreciate all of you being here. And we have something important to talk about today. And also, there's been a few people that have reached out to me. If you ever want to have a little bit of clarity, I'm going to give some sessions away. I'm going to give away 2 clarity sessions. If you've been going through a tough time, you need a little bit of guidance, you feel like it's time that I stop fighting this alone, what you have to do is you have to send me an email, lukelifecharms@gmail.com, or write me on Instagram. I'm going to give 2 away to the first 2 people who write me. Yeah, I haven't done one of those in a long time. But it's good to be back here. I must say, you all have, what's up, Dom? What's up, China Lee? Oh man, it's great to be back here. Todo va bien. Todo bien. Everything is great here. Everything is great. I'm actually taking a break right now because I'm like, I haven't jumped on here in a week, or it's been like 4 days, and it feels weird not speaking to you guys live. As much as I love the vlog, as much as I love filming things, filming the vlogs in Spanish, some more of those coming soon, I love being here live. I guess the reason I started YouTube, and I think a lot of times when you are doing something and you start adding new skills and adding new pieces to what you've built, you can't forget the original design. You can't forget the reason why you actually started doing it. And I think it's so important. I mean, a lot of people who want to travel, who want to just break free, to live on their own, to inspire people. But along that journey, there's going to be things that distract you. There's going to be things that test you. There's going to be things that are always going to be pushing you, seeing if you really want it. And I think in those moments, you got to remember why you started. You got to remember why you started. Like, it's so important. And the reason I started YouTube was to inspire and to help people the best I can. So this is like a dream for me right now, having you all here. So just want to thank you all for being here. And the question of the day, and I'm gonna need to get you guys, I want to hear some of you guys' thoughts on this. I'm gonna post the Zoom link here in a minute. The question is, are most people lying about how they feel? Are most people lying about how they feel? It's a very important question because as I've traveled all around the world, I meet hundreds of people a week, and I ask everyone the same question, and most of the time. And lately, the last few months, I feel a lot of people have been lying about this. If I were to ask you how you're feeling, what would be your response be? Just think of it in your head. How are you feeling? And I ask you a second time, how you feeling? And I urge you to go out there and try this with people. As I ask people, like, hey, how you feeling? I'm okay. How are you feeling? And then I start to see the truth come out in people. I start to see the truth coming out in people. And it made me start to think about it. Like, there's a lot of people who are not okay right now. I don't think you guys understand how many people are not okay right now. I don't think you understand how many people are struggling, who social media hasn't changed. The filters have gotten better. The reels, the music, all this stuff has gotten better, but have people really gotten better? Because from what I've noticed, talking to some people are not okay. People are very fearful. People have anxiety every day. People don't want to say they're depressed, but they need to say stuff like this to make themselves feel a little bit better. And I think the problem with when, let me turn this fan off, it's blowing my screen, shaking it. I think the problem is when you ask someone how they're doing and everyone's telling you they're okay and you're not feeling okay, you start to think something's wrong with you. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to people? When I want to let you know for a fact that people are not okay. And by the way, guys, we got to get the likes up. What's happening? I forgot my water. Goodness. I've got all this little sports drink powder, but no water to go with it. Let's get the likes up, guys. We got to get the likes up before we dive into today. This is going to be good for someone out there. Someone out there, this is what you have been waiting for. This is what you have been waiting for. Okay. So here's what I want you guys to do today. And you can try this out for yourself, but just be ready for people's real responses. Okay. When you ask someone how they're doing, I want you to start asking them twice. I want you to start asking people twice how they're doing. I think when you start to ask people twice how they're doing, you're going to start to see the truth come out of people. And here's the problem. Here's the problem with people lying to you about how they're feeling is we just get so used to just saying okay that we start lying to ourselves. Be like, yeah, I'm fine. Anytime I hear someone say they're fine, for me, it's an instant thing that they're not okay. I don't care, even if they are okay. My brain, if someone says I'm fine, no offense, especially if a woman says they're fine, I don't believe it at all. And it's a red flag for me to see what's going on with this person. This is something that I guess I care so much about people that when they're not okay, you can feel it. Like look someone in their eye and ask them how they're feeling and really mean it. Because most of the time when people ask us how we're feeling, we know they don't care. They're just asking because that's just what we do. That's what people do. We just ask this. And I think as you start to grow, you get tired of those mundane conversations. The conversations of just like, well, I'm fine. I'll be like, where are you from? What do you do? Those get old. So it needs to go deeper. Like, hey, how you feeling? Like, how you really feeling? What's been going on with you? I think it means a lot to people. And I talked about this on my YouTube and I had people write me in DMs about this post that I made. I said, sometimes what you're feeling is not your own. So this is the key. This is why I told you the first part first, because people aren't okay. So when you're around people, you got to remember, you absorb people's energy. Whenever you're around people, you're taking in people's energy. Have you ever been in public and you're like, wow, I feel really anxious or I feel really worried? Like, what if that's not yours? Uh-oh, here we go. What if that's not really yours? What if it's not yours? What if you're feeling someone else's emotion? Because I guarantee you, if you go on a bus or a metro or you're an airport or you're around a lot of people, you start to feel emotions that you didn't feel when you're by yourself. What do you think that's coming from? What's that coming from, you think? Because something so important to know is that the emotions you feel are not always yours. Because some of y'all are feeling bad and you're like, well, I'm feeling bad. That's my fault. Why am I feeling so bad? But what if that's not yours? What if that's not yours? My name is Lukelifecharms on IG. I'm reading the comments right now. Where am I at? I am inside a little mini office. What if the feelings you guys are feeling are not yours? What if there's some other people's that you're around? Because some of you guys are feeling bad. You feel bad. And when you feel bad, what you end up doing is you're like, man, I don't know why I feel bad. And you start to investigate it. And you're like, I can't find anything. What if it's not yours? What if you're feeling bad and it's not your feeling? It's the people that you're around, the people that you think are happy, the people that you think are joyous and just the happy life of the party. But what happens to the life of the party on Saturday, on Sunday afternoon? How do they feel? Because I've been on both sides of that coin. As a pro athlete, I was the life of the party, any country, any talent I went for. And even when I just go anywhere, because of my size. But there's a time that I was really unhappy. I have some really dark stories of being very unhappy, but everyone thinking that I had everything. Because the life of the party needed the party for the life. The life of the party needed the party for their life. Where some people just go there as an outside thing. The life of the party sometimes is there for their own life. If there was no party, there were times in my life, I don't know what I would have done because I didn't have anybody. No, I didn't have, like Saturday, Friday, Saturday's cool. But what about Sunday afternoon? What about Monday morning? What about Tuesday night? Where is all the life and people and emotions then? So when I tell you this, this is the illusion that gets put in front of our face so many times. So many of you guys, you are okay. You're letting everything outside of you influence you. The people around you, even if they don't say anything, you're like, this person got their life together, man. Dang, what's wrong with me? And it can happen at any time. Trust me. People always look at me like, wow, Luke has a dream life, or he's just traveling. He's just doing his thing. He blah, blah. I hear all this kind of stuff. But I feel so much confusion so many times. A lot of times I feel confused. There's a lot of times that I have felt lost. The travel vlogs that everybody loved of mine, and this is when I was really doing my daily vlogs, traveling through Europe, like he's the funnest life, all this kind of stuff. I had no idea where I was going next. In most of the situations, I didn't have a hostel booked for the next day. I had to figure it out. Figure out what country to go to next. I was traveling with such a small budget that I couldn't afford mistakes. I couldn't afford to not find a hostel, not have to stay in a hotel. That took off food for the next day. But that's going on internally, but outside, it's like just traveling. So you got to remember there's two sides to every coin. It doesn't matter how small I cut this card. There's always going to be two sides. Always. And the second you lose sight of the other side, the second you forget that there's another side, I think you're living in a delusion or an illusion. These are the two sides of the coin. There's delusion and illusion. Delusion, illusion. You see it in your life, you see it in relationships. Relationships is a very easy way to talk about it. It's not on relationships. We'll get into relationships a little bit later. But there's two sides to every side, everything. And the second you start to get, in a sense, the second you start to just think about one side and forget the other side, I think that's when you start to go delusion or illusion. Hold on one second, guys. Got to check on my people. Yeah, okay, I'm back. So guys, the second you forget about the other side, so let's say you look at yourself, your life, what you're doing, and you just see the bad, and you forget that there's the other side, there's the good as well, you're in a delusion, or you're in an illusion. If you just look at the good and you forget the bad. So relationships is the easiest way to do it, because in a relationship, you can, in the beginning, you just see the good and you forget about the bad. Then later the coin flips and then you just see the bad and don't see the good. And then you just kind of live in this like little, this is just horrible. And then one day they do something nice and then you see the good side. And you live in this like, forgetting that actually it's all one at the same time. It's this, the two sides. It's the two sides. So I hope that you're not forgetting that. And when you're around other people and you're feeling all these different things, a lot of times you're just focused on one side. So if I can give you a little piece of just a little thing to take with you today, what's the other side that you're not looking at? What's the other side that you're not looking at? Because reality is seeing both sides at the same time. If you're feeling sad, it's very hard. It's very difficult to feel sad in the present. If you think about it, if you're in the present moment, it's challenging to feel sad. Now, if you're in the past, you can feel really sad. If you're in the future, you can feel sad. Now, we're going to have an emotional video coming up soon, just on managing emotions and things that you all can do. But I think one thing is if I could tell you one more thing today, is like, what are you focusing on? Where's your focus at? I think if you follow your focus, I'll tell you how you feel. I can tell you how you feel today if you just tell me what you're going to focus on today. All right. Now, let me see. Let me put a little. Can you post that for me? Okay. I don't know why it has me signed in on my other account, but if anyone has something to say, I just posted it. I don't know why it's showing me as Mr. Big 30. It's okay. What's going on? My Instagram is lukelifecharms@gmail.com. Kiev, привіт. Привіт, як справа? Як справа, Ukraine? The brain absorbs a lot of dark stuff and repels the good. Yeah, so many times. I think so many people are like this, myself too. Like, you got to remember, everyone has an emotional home. I got this from my mentor. Everyone has an emotional home. Everybody. And an emotional home is the emotion you feel most of the time. And no matter what happens, you have to get back to there. So there's a lot of people whose emotional home is anger. And no matter what happens, they'll always find a way to get angry. I'm sure we all have someone in our life who's like that. We all have someone in our life who's like that, who gets angry and they just always seem to be angry or mad. Someone who's always seemed to be frustrated. They've created their emotional home. So what you need to do is that needs to change, because you'll always find a way back home. It's not just a song. You'll always find a way. You'll always find a way back home. So let me get to these comments. Any of you guys got any questions? Drop it in the chat below. If not, I'm going to get off of here. I just want to jump on real quick today. I missed you guys. One absorbs the dark stuff. Yeah. And I think some of the times is to understand one of the things that really helped me and why I'm telling you this, and this is stuff I usually only talk about in programs, but a lot of times we're just absorbing things that aren't ours. And when you realize, oh, it's not mine, you put it back. You put it back. That's simple. If it's not yours, what are you going to keep it for? I have a very sad example that happened to me yesterday. So, or it happened, yeah, it happened to me yesterday. So here I'm in Mexico right now. So, and I have a motorcycle, and my motorcycle, you don't leave it on the street in the night. But I have another place here in the center, and I stay in the center. I don't have a garage there. So what I did is I paid to lock it up in a storage overnight, because the parking garages aren't 24 hours. They close at 10 and they open again at 6 in the morning. So I just get my motorcycle at 6 in the morning. And when I go in there the next morning, when I leave my home, I'm like, oh, I forgot my mask inside. I was like, it's whatever. I'll get one on the way. And I walk over to my bike, and right next to my motorcycle on the ground is a mask. And it's the same mask that I have. I was like, here's my mask that I was looking for. So I pick it up off the ground. Disgusting, but I guarantee you almost everyone's done this before. And I see my mask on the ground next to my bike. It's been there all night. And I'm like, at least it hasn't rained. In Bali, it would rain and I'd have a mask on my motorcycle and or my scooter, and I just dry it off, leave it on the sun and use it. This one was on the ground. I was like, oh, it's disgusting, but I needed to go to the market to have my breakfast and to see all my friends. And I pick up the mask, and I don't only wear it when I go inside if I have to. So I put it in my pocket and I drive to the market. As soon as I get to the market, take my mask out, put it on, go sit down, eat, take the mask off, eat, put the mask on and leave. So I'm riding my motorcycle home, and I get home and I'm emptying out my pockets. And as I empty out my pockets, my right pocket, I have my keys, my phone, and my mask, and throw it on my bed. Go into my left pocket, my other pocket, reach in there, pull out my chapstick, my AirPods, and a mask. And I was like, oh my goodness. I just found a mask on the ground. I literally found a mask on the ground and put it on. It wasn't mine. I didn't even think to check my pocket before I picked up the mask that was next to my bike that looked exactly like my mask. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And the first thing I did when I did that is I got rid of that old mask. Why would I keep wearing it if it's not mine? Why would I keep doing that? It's the same with our emotions. When you can understand that this isn't mine because I feel great, this isn't mine, get rid of it. What's the reason you keep holding on to it for? Like, what's the reason you just don't change your focus? And the thing is, so many people try to change their focus by trying not to think of what they don't want to think about. Our brain doesn't understand negatives. You have to understand, our brain does not understand negatives. I'm gonna give you an example. Are you guys ready? This might blow your mind for some of you. Give you a very simple example. Don't think of a pink elephant. Don't think of a blue elephant. Don't think of a green elephant. Don't think of a dog. Don't think of a dog in a car. Don't think of an elephant pulling a dog in a car. So technically, with what just happened, you shouldn't have thought of anything. Nothing should have went through your mind because I told you not to think of all this stuff. So this is what happens. We're like, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about how stressed I am. You already thinking about it. I don't want to do that because I'm afraid that'll happen. You're already afraid. I don't want to stress out about it. You're already stressing out about it. Because I don't know, has anyone ever been in a relationship and you've had the other person tell you, or maybe you've heard this in a movie or somewhere, I don't want to be annoying, but anyone who says that, they already think that they're annoying. So the question a lot of times, or not even a question, but one of the things that we need to know is that when it comes to our emotions and how we feel, that if it's not ours, let it go. Choose something else to focus on and focus on it. Don't think of, I don't want to focus on that, because that's just going to make you focus on it. Guaranteed. So I hope this little short, sweet live session just brought maybe something that someone needed to hear today. But I hope that, yeah, that's my hope. I'm trying to read through the comments real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything before I get off of here. My home is like a ramshackle shed. A lot of people's. But then again, if you know where everything is in your shed, is it so ramshackled? Oh, no, yeah. Always follow you first, mine. I don't understand, Lee. Let me see. Stuff I'm not going to think about ever. Yeah, exactly. Stuff I'm not going to think about ever. Yes. So many times we do this, though. So many times we don't want to think about something, but that just makes us think about it more. So I hope you got something out of this. Understand that a lot of people are lying about things. People are lying about how they feel. And think about it. If you lie to yourself about how you feel without knowing about it, you don't think other people do it as well? The people who you look at on social media who have the best life, there's things that happen behind the scenes that you have no idea about. How many times do we see it on the news that we hear an actor or an actress who we love passed away suddenly? No idea what happened. Something happened. They were struggling with something that nobody knew about. And I guarantee you, everyone out there, everyone that you meet, everyone that you see, they're all struggling with something. And no matter what it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. I guarantee you, everyone's struggling with something that you have no idea about. It's just how it goes. And the more you can understand this, the more you become more compassionate with people, the more you become compassionate with yourself. I have a feeling a lot of you all here beat yourself up way too much. You say things to yourself that you shouldn't say. You say things to yourself that you would never say to someone else. You think things about yourself that no one else thinks about you. No one judges you as harshly as you judge yourself. No one looks at you that bad. No one points out all this wrong stuff about you as much as you pointed out in yourself. And the more you can understand that, the more it just gives you a deeper sense of compassion. People who aren't compassionate with other people understand these people are not compassionate with other people. So I think that this is one of the most eye-opening things to understand. Understand how you feel. If you feel sad, yes, I'm sad right now. And know you can change it at any moment with your focus. You change your focus and your meaning, and then you'll feel better. It's just how it goes. It sounds so simple, but that's how all the best things are. They're all simple. Maybe hard to execute, but it's very simple. Some of you I say all the time, like, you want to travel the world, travel, sell everything and leave. Figure it out when you go. Simple, right? But the second you ask someone to do something that's out their comfort zone, then you hear all the reasons, the stories of why they can't do it. And then you understand why they haven't, and that's why they are in the life that they have. Because the thing that they're scared to do. Let me see. I do it all the time. How I was raised: stop your crying, hold your chin, head up. Messages: don't cry, don't show. Exactly. So that's how the world is. We grow up with people who don't cry, who don't show sadness, who don't feel anything. We were never taught how to. A kid is crying, and like, what are you crying? What do you feel right now? You never think about what you feel right now. There's no time to think about what you feel. A kid cries because they feel something. What they felt made them cry. The crying is in the middle of how they feel, how they're expressing it, and what you see. And we just go at what we see, and we tell them to stop crying. So we're never taught to address our emotion. We're never taught, like, this is how I'm feeling. So we don't talk about it to ourselves. Like, emotions, like, it's a normal thing. It's like a river. You can have the cleanest water. I have like I wish I had it. It's in my bag across there. But I have like a life straw, and I can drink from a river. I can drink from a toilet. This straw filters out everything. So I can filter the cleanest water for you. But if you leave it sitting for a day, a week, a month, a year, leave water sitting, it's going to get mold, bacteria, mosquitoes, all kinds of stuff is going to happen. The same with our emotions, how we feel. If you're feeling like crying, go home and cry. If you're feeling emotional, let it out. What's the point of holding it in, good or bad? Because if you hold in the good stuff, the bad stuff, I guarantee you hold out on the good stuff as well. If you can't cry because you're sad and you lost someone who mattered, or something messed up and you don't let that emotion out, I guarantee you don't cry either when you see the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen in your life. Your spectrum of what you can feel in life shrinks because our spectrum of life and what we feel, it grows together all the time. It never grows like, oh, I'm just going to start feeling more sad. If you start to feel more sad, it also means that you can feel more great. Your spectrum just grows. That's why you can look at a sunset and just cry instantly, or feel an emotion of life or whatever you choose to feel, but you also can feel sad at the same time. Because it's your scale of emotion, and it always grows like that. So the thing is, like, how do you feel? Ask yourself that. Like, how am I feeling today? Like, for me, I like, if I wake up this morning, it's like, oh, I feel a little bit disappointed I didn't sleep as long as I wanted to, but I feel excited though for the day. I feel excited. A lot of things happening, doing a lot of cool things. Got a little mini trip today, and then going on a longer trip in a couple of days. Like, yeah, I feel excited. And then ask yourself, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? No one ever asks that. I ask it with my clients all the time. Sometimes I had a conversation 2 days ago with my client, and they weren't feeling so great. And I was like, well, how do you want to feel? I don't know. Well, that's why you're going to stay feeling the way you feel. You don't know how you want to feel. So true. Hello, we're lying to ourselves. Yes, a lot of people work on it. Great, great. What's it called, Luke? What is what called? I'm afraid if I let it out, it will be too much, too painful. The tears won't stop. So I keep the lock on it. Well, Ava, I would ask us, how's that going for you? Like, how's that going if you don't let it out? That would be the question. And I mean, I can't understand 100%, but I've been in the same situation. If I let it out, the tears keep coming. And my question for you is, what's the problem with tears coming out? Who's the person that put that in your brain that that's not okay? Tears coming out was one of the most beautiful things. When someone that means a lot to you is telling you something that really is important to them, and you see tears and emotions coming out of them, that's a beautiful thing. That's powerful. Everyone keeps everything locked up inside of them, not saying anything. Where's the honor in that? Just hiding everything. Because what if we were all a little bit more emotional and let people know that it was okay to be sad? If we let people know that it was okay to have a bad day. If it was okay to let people know that things aren't always going to go according to plan, you're going to feel disappointed, you're going to cry, and then you're going to figure it out. But the emotion, it's motion. Energy and motion, it's keeping the emotions going. Me coming to Mexico. I came into Mexico in January, or when did I come? Yeah, I came in January to Mexico. And that is when they still had a little bit restrictions on the time limit. And I planned to come here to Mexico and get my visa for 180 days. That's what it is. I was like, oh, I'm excited to get it. And I show up in the Ciudad de Mexico. I show up in Mexico City. And the lady's like, oh, we only can give you 30 days. And I was like, what do you mean? I just left. I was just here for 2 months. I just left to go home for Christmas. And they said, no, I only can give you 30 days. And I remember like, okay. Because that meant that I couldn't see as much. That meant I had to change my travel plans and everything. Because I was going to go slow through the country. And as soon as they gave it to me, I just started to feel this like emotion, like, and I like got a tear in my eye, like now I don't know, like I have to get on a flight and fly back into the States. Now I'm gonna have to get tested, and then it's just a hassle to do the whole thing. Go to the airport, fly into the States, and wait in the States in some place on the border, then fly back into it. And it brought up all this emotion, and then I just felt this emotion. I sat there on the side, like just 10 meters after the passport control, just took some breaths. I said, okay. So we'll just take it slow, and then we'll fly out of the States in 30 days. Cool, let's make it happen. And then from there, my brain could think clearly. If I had taken that with me outside the airport, and now I'm in the Uber, frustrated at the Uber, we're not having a joyous conversation like we did, then I'm getting dropped off in my hotel, I'm carrying this with me the whole time, this anger and frustration, disappointment, I'm carrying it with me. Then I jump on the phone and talk to people, I'm carrying it with me there. Now when I talk to people, I'm bringing it up in the conversation. And when I'm bringing it up in a conversation, they're just fueling it like, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know why they would do that. So now they're fueling it to me more. Now I've taken it with me throughout 5 or 6 days, and I've missed moments that were so important in my life. That's for me, but if you do it, it's the same for you. Moments in your life are just gone because you were just frustrated. You can blow opportunities. You can ruin moments, destroy moments. Sets your path of life on a different direction. Because you're not honest about how you're feeling. Like, I'm feeling sad that I couldn't get 180 days. And honestly, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I just couldn't see, because you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You only can do it when you're looking backwards. So why not make sure every point is the best that you can as you're going forward, so then you understand it when you look back. Because of that, I had to leave a place that I was in for a long time. I lived by a beach with my friends, and I flew into Tijuana, and I walked across the border, saw how easy it was to cross into America. I just walked across a bridge. That was it. And then I booked a flight as soon as I got across and walked back over the bridge. Then I saw how simple it was. I had no idea it was that easy to cross the border. Now I know, oh, I go to Tijuana to cross the border. Walk back in, you pay $30, and you have 180 days. Simple. Then I also got to fly into Mexico City. Then I went to Puebla. Then I'm in Oaxaca. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine the direction that my life would go. You know, my life has changed completely now. The people that I'm around, the person who I'm with, I wouldn't buy a motorcycle. Like, this stuff is, I don't even see this happening. But it got from a decision changed the course of everything. But if you take that change of course, if you take it as you're being cursed, you're going to use it as a curse and think you're cursed. If you can look at it, and I said this about in two shows ago, I said, if you take something, you take the things that happen to you and you receive it as a gift. When you receive the things that happen to you as a gift, that's how you use it. When you receive it as a gift, that's how you use it. So when you recognize things within yourself as gifts and not curses, the way you look, the way you smell, the way you laugh, the way you feel, and you realize that they're gifts, you'll use them as gifts. Some of you who think you're so emotional and can feel, like this is a gift. That is my superpower, is I can feel. I can feel people. When I meet people, when I talk to people, I can feel that they're sad. I can feel that they're angry. But that's it. I just feel it for a second and it goes away. Now I know how to control that. Now I'm able in a place to help them. When I work with clients, or I work with someone in a one-on-one call and they tell me a horrible thing that's happened to them, I'm able to feel it for a second, but then focus so much on the impact that's going to be made that I know it brings a joy to me. because I've had the people that come into my life now, the clients that I work with now, the people who reach out to want to be clients when we're in our first session, because I do calls with people before I even work with them, because I don't just work with anybody. Like, there's been terrible things that have happened. Of course I can't go into because confidentiality, but I spoke to a person that served in the military. What they were in, the transportation that they were in was struck by a rocket, or it was a IED. I think that there's a proper name for it. And people in their transportation, their mode of transportation, died. They don't remember what happened. They had serious problems with their back and spine, and they were discharged. They can never see the world the same. They struggle to fit into the world, and they just break down over everything. As soon as they happen, even worse things, deaths in their family of people close. Like, if I could go into this whole story, you would not believe it. But all this stuff happened. All of it. And if I feel that, that's too much for me. So you got to get yourself in a way where you can see it and, okay, focus on the impact now. Because then it becomes like, let's do this. Let's change this. Let's change this story. What do you want to happen? How do you want to feel? This is where change happens. Okay, Ava, I see this. Yeah, I'm gonna get to some of the comments real quick because I'm about to get off of here. Yeah, I wasn't about to cry as a kid. Guess I needed to rewire it. Yeah, absolutely, of course. You don't have to rewire it. It's just, maybe, what if you did rewire? What would that look like? Drop me a message, Ava, because I don't know if you guys know what I said. I'm gonna give away 2 clarity calls. If you guys don't know a clarity call, or you can call it whatever you want. Everyone gives it names, but I give calls to people who, it's like a little it's a free coaching session that I give. And it's something that really shifts things in your mind. And for some people, not for everyone, we move on and they end up becoming clients. But at least it gives you something on paper, because I think it's what I love to do is rearrange furniture in people's minds. Everyone's different. Everyone looks at something that is different than other people. And when you can just rewire that, change the story a little bit, that makes all the difference. So yeah, if you're interested in that, send me don't do it on here. Don't write me now. Don't leave a comment. Send me an email, lukelifecharms@gmail.com, or reach out to me on Instagram. As soon as this live session is over, I'll go on Instagram, because I'm picking 2 people. You can get a free call with me one-on-one. Situation Ukraine, we have war, Russia destroyed cities, killed. Yeah, I think everyone in the world knows about that right now. Your brain went, and my heart goes out to that. I speak to my family in Ukraine. They're still there. I speak to them just about every day, just about every single day. All your brain went overload on everything. You just had to adjust with only being 30. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely changed everything. But now it's like, well, how is this happening for me? Put this question in your mind. That's usually something I only give to my people in my group coaching, but I'll give it to you for free here. If you want to join us in our group coaching, we meet again on Monday. But how is it happening for you? See how that makes you feel in situations. Be blessed and be a blessing as you are always. Yes, always, always. You watch video of Ukraine, say something Ukrainian. Sim, привіт, як справа? Як справа? And yeah, I think that's kind of it, guys. Just wanted to jump in here, short, sweet. Yeah, that's kind of it. Oh, look at that timing. My light went out. That's how it's supposed to be. And it's 10:55 here. Just to let y'all know it was time to go. But yes, thank you for being here, everyone. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate everyone's support. You guys showing up here all the time. I appreciate you. And some more vlogs in Spanish coming really soon. Really soon. Thank you for being here. Love you guys. I appreciate you all. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys in the next session. And remember, oh yeah, Ava, I'll look forward to your message. Drop me a message on Instagram if you feel like it. And everyone, remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao. And I'm gonna get you a quote to end with. The barriers you are creating between you and fear are the same ones that are stopping you from living. Boom. That's it. Love you guys. Take care. See you in the next session pretty soon.